All right, so we are going to start outlining our senior paper this week, and I'm going to share resources with you for that. But first, I just want to go back and take a glance at this part of the senior project manual. You all have this, you should. If you don't, let me know and I'll email it to you. If you want an email copy, I could do that. Okay, so this is the research and writing component. This is on page 20 of the senior project manual. Okay, so the research and writing component involves self-reflection, research analysis, and interest in the community as a whole. Be prepared to become an expert on the topic and teach your peers about it. Not only will students be completing research-based argumentative paper, so that's what we're focusing on right now. They'll also be creating their own fifth-year plans. We're going to do that later, okay? So, deadlines. We did the research paper proposal. You just did the annotated bibliography and the notes for the annotated bibliography. I'm not going to have you guys do a personal interview because your senior project part has changed to a personal interview. And then you have 3 drafts of your final paper, and then your final research paper is due the 3rd of March, so we have about a month, okay? Don't pee your pants, it's fine. And then we're going to do the reflection after you finish the paper, and then your 5th year plan after you finish the project, okay? So scroll down. Plagiarism. Please cite your sources, or you will fail. And I just want to reiterate, like, if you're planning to go to college and you find an answer online that you didn't cite, you write a paper that you didn't cite, you steal a paper online, I know people who have gotten kicked out of college for that. So just don't cite your sources. Use your own words. You're smart. Just put your words on the paper, okay? So remember, the senior project adheres to all stated plagiarism and academic honesty rules as lined in the Lakeside Junior Senior High School Student Handbook. In addition, the following statements specifically apply to this assignment. So research projects and research writing require the use of sources. So other people, books, newspapers, magazines, articles, whatever you're using. All information taken from any source, even if you're paraphrasing it in your own words, still needs to be cited in MLA format. If you don't do this, you will have a determination of plagiarism and will not pass. So please listen. If you are struggling with paraphrasing and citing your sources, you just cite the same way. You'll say, Joe Schmo said that blah, 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 blah. And even if you didn't put it in your own words, or even if you put it in your own words so you're not using quotation marks, you're still going to give Joe Schmo that in-text citation at the end, okay? And then, obviously, the use of another's thoughts, ideas, words, or theories in any form without proper documentation is plagiarism, okay? So here's a sample of plagiarism. Original text, unacceptable paraphrase. So this is what plagiarism looks like with a paraphrase. And here's an acceptable paraphrase. So this is William 1, right? So if you need any clarification on that, please let me know, but you can read through this on your own. MLA format, you should know how to do this. If you don't, go to Purdue OWL MLA. I can also help you with this, but you've been doing it your whole high school career, okay? So this is regular size paper. Length. Page numbers mean full pages, okay? So your cover page, your outlines, your works cited don't count towards the page length, okay? Needs to be in 12-point Times New Roman, black print, and then when you print it out, it needs to be on one side only, not two-sided, okay? Margins should be 1 inch on all sides of the text. It automatically does that, but if you are interested, I'm on Word right now, so I can show you. You go to Layout, Margins, and then 1, 1, 1, 1, and that's under normal, okay? That's how it should be. Staple, upper left corner, everything should be double spaced, and then page number. So start on page 1 of the text, not the title page or outline, and number consecutively throughout in the upper right-hand corner. I will help you with this, okay? Include your last name and a space before the page number. Number the works cited page as well, though these pages do not count in the overall page length requirement, only page counts. Okay, so here is the general requirements. Number 1 is the hardest thing for me when I'm writing academic papers. No contractions. So instead of, don't do W/O for without or the and sign. But also, don't say he's. You need to say he is. Don't say don't. You need to say cannot instead of can't. Okay, things like that need to be totally avoided. Okay. So another thing in MLA format that some people are kind of don't really know is spell out numbers 1 through 99, so O-N-E, but then once you get to 100, you start typing 1, like the number 100, okay? A paragraph should not end in a quotation, right? So you need to talk a little bit, introduce the quote, analyze that quote, okay? So my rule is every sentence of a quote needs 3 sentences of your own words analysis. So every quote or paraphrase should be followed by double or triple the amount of analysis. Use consistent verb tense. So if you were writing a paper about someone who has passed away, let's just say, blah, blah, blah was blah, blah, blah. Their life was, okay? Now you don't want to just start saying blah, blah, blah is da, 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 okay? So it needs to be in past, present, or future tense the whole way through. And you got to figure out what's going to make sense for your paper that way. And then use action verbs, walk, talk, think, do, etc. instead of linking verbs, is, are, were, be, being, etc. Okay? And the paper should be written in third person. Don't you use any I's, me's, us, we's. No yous. Nobody writes in second person except for if they're writing a letter or usually a poorly constructed book. Anyway, you are writing in they, he, she, them, he/she, okay? Or one. That's my favorite. If you don't know if the author is a he or she, or they're just talking about someone should do this, right? Sally Mae stated that one should pick up trash or whatever, okay? And then the research paper proposal. You did that, so this is the same thing I gave you. Just copy and paste it from the manual. Okay, here's the checklist that we will be going through all of the checklists later this week. You did your annotated bibliography. Again, we'll be going through the rubric and the checklist for that. I'm not having you do a personal interview. Okay. And then you are going to be doing first and second drafts. Okay. So this is your rubric. This is what you're being graded on right now. Okay. And if your first and second draft has all yeses, you don't need to do another draft. But I'm going to be a stickler because this needs to be perfect. So I'm sorry ahead of time. So your first draft will be edited by me and looked at by me. Your second draft will be looked at by another teacher of your choice who's really nice and says that they will read through it and edit it for you. And then your third draft is your final draft. And of course, I'll help you along the way before you're even doing drafts. If you want me to look at anything, of course I will. But the third draft will be graded by me and the senior project committee. So that's your final draft. Okay. So you're going to need 2 physical copies of the research paper, a digital copy of your research paper. Paper needs to be typed 12-point Times New Roman double spaced, 1-inch margins, MLA format, cover page, and outline are provided. Correct default spacing between words, letters, symbols, etc. Pages, including the works cited page, are numbered correctly. Minimum of 6 sources, so I had you do 10 on your annotated bib. You don't have to use all of them. If you have some that you don't think will work and you need more, you have fewer than 6, you need to do some more research, okay? So you need at least 6 sources, including the interview. So if you choose to interview somebody, you can use that as a source. If you can interview a classmate, a teacher, a friend, your parent, your grandpa, whatever, okay? Whatever you think will work for your paper. And then 6 sources. Sources must be credible and not from either a general encyclopedia or Wikipedia. We were using Lilly, okay? You can use that. That's perfect, okay? Both print and internet sources should be used equally. This is not going to be a requirement this year because COVID, so we can't go to the library. So only digital sources will be used. The paper contains a minimum of 18 thoroughly analyzed citations. That means 18 quotations, okay? 18 quotes or paraphrases. The in-text source citations are properly in Emily format. Of course, I'll show you how to do that. Works cited page is correctly formatted. What's really awesome is that we already formatted our annotated bibliography with the annotations in the front. We cited them perfectly, so we could just copy and paste them into alphabetical order for your works cited page, which is nice. Okay. The paper is consistently written in third person. Your paper needs to be 8 to 12 full pages in length. So if you're on page 7.5, you need to finish that page to get to 8 pages. 8 full pages, not 8, okay? Or to 12. It's just double spaced. Like, I think that you will be okay. And this does not include your cover page, your outline, or your works cited page. The thesis statement is italicized in the introduction of the paper. And if the student were to make all of the corrections indicated in the body of the paper, they would likely receive a passing score. So based on the checklist, you may move on to your second or final draft. Okay? Or if you need to do more than 3 drafts, I will let you know. Okay? So the rubric for the final draft is due here. But we're just going to focus on this for now. We are going to start with our outline, okay? And we're going to do a couple different things to outline because people's brains work differently. They like to write differently, and I just want to make sure that you are all on the same page. So I'm going to do another video because this one's already pretty long about the outline, but this is just general. Any questions you have is found in the manual or found by me. And this should cover the majority of what we're doing in the next while, okay? Let me know if you have any questions.